You're probably wondering, where's the audio? Yep, we got audio issues. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I recorded like 2 videos just to find out that when I uploaded to my computer today that they did not have audio. I did not have my mic plugged in apparently all the way, but luckily half of the footage from the most important part, picking up the new kayak, got audio, so we'll jump to that in a second. But like I said, I had 2 videos. I had one video that was like a full recap and update video because there's a lot that has happened since my last upload. Just to simplify things, I got out to use a native, and well, let me tell you what. The last 3 trips, either the GoPro did not want to run, the GoPro ended up having corrupted files, or it was a torrential Pacific Northwest typical downpour. But luckily I got some photos and at least 1 or 2 clips from some of these trips, and I'm just gonna recap this real quick. So my first trip out, tell you what, it was kind of weird getting on a kayak, but luckily I had my buddy Matt there to kind of give me some guidance about what to do and what not to do and stuff like that. It took a little bit of time to get used to counterbalancing, but you know, within the first half an hour, I was standing up in the shallows looking around thinking that I might be able to see a fish. So honestly, I'm really impressed by that native. It was super stable, and I felt like a lot of the layout worked out for me. About an hour and a half in, I ended up hooking into my first kayak bass on a Z-Man jackhammer chatterbait, one of my favorite ways to fish, and I actually do got that video, so here it is. During that trip, I ended up catching 4 fish, and I actually got surprised with a 4 1/4 pound largemouth. That was a fun fight. I do need to work on some things such as backpedaling so that I can keep tension on my line. I mean, that largemouth kind of took me for a little sleigh ride, but here's a photo of that largemouth right here. Now on the second trip out, I actually jumped into a kayak tournament. It wasn't an official tournament, more like a open style tournament where a rookie like myself gets paired with someone with a little more experience. I don't know how, but my buddy Matt ended up drawing me, and we went out there and took 3rd place. I gotta give it up to him. He picked up all the slack. It was a 2 fish per person, so a 4 fish limit for the team, and he ended up catching his 2. And I only got 1. But the cool part is I ended up getting big fish of a tournament of with like a 4 1/2 pounder that went 19.75 inches. So at the end of the day, we got 3rd place. I ended up taking home big fish of the tournament, and I believe I walked away with the most money during that day. So that was a pretty cool experience, and honestly that tournament gave so much self-confidence that I can go out there and, even though I'm struggling, just be able to go out there and still catch a fish. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about that. I'm not going to be able to focus on fishing. I'm more worried about the kayak. So hopefully this wasn't one of those, you know, I jinxed myself like a first cast, first fish type scenario. But with that, I mean, I'm looking forward to future upcoming events whenever I get a chance to fish them. Now, just recently, I got out on the Columbia River for the last trip in that native. And man, I'll tell you what, those fish are full pre-spawn. Those Columbia River smallmouth, I mean, they're just fat and ready to pop. Of course, again, it downpoured from the moment we got there all the way till about 11, 12 o'clock. And yeah, it did not let off. Once the sun started coming out and everything was dry, I got to turn on the GoPro just for a little bit before we ended up heading home. And I actually did get 1 footage of me catching one of the fish from that day, right here. Got one. Z-Man Pro Crawls on a little wobble head. Just to add on to that, here's a photo from that day as well from another fish. Alright, now the big update. What happened to my truck? Long story short, there was a lot of damage to my truck and I wasn't sure if it was going to be reliable in the long run. I decided to let the insurance take it, but the other bad thing that happened with that is I decided to sell my boat. To me, having a reliable truck that will last me a long time is more important than a boat and an unreliable truck. So we ended up getting rid of both of them and started off fresh. And I actually got a new truck. Here's a photo of it. I made the decision to jump back into a Toyota Tundra, but a newer one. This truck had a lot of stuff that I initially planned on doing to it, like a lift. I had a canopy already, which is always a plus. It has the rails on top, so I can just throw on all my Yakima accessories. It pretty much was ready to go, and I think it was a no-brainer to jump into this situation. I really hope that recap did not take that long. I just felt like I owed it up to you guys an update and an explanation why there hasn't been anything posted for the last couple weeks, but now it's time to jump into this video and the process of me picking up my kayak. Some of the footage in there with no audio, I just threw it in there anyways with some music. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the use of some of that stuff. We will be jumping into next adventure, Scappoose Bay, where we will be picking up the kayak. Thanks for listening, guys. Now enjoy the rest of the video. Alright y'all, just got the next adventure. I actually just dropped off the native and I see what I'm taking home. Pretty excited. First off, here's the native. We say farewell to the native and hello to the Hobie PA-12. Look at this. So the guys did a little bit of work. I actually brought my transducer and my power wires for the graph and they wired everything up for me. So now we're not using a cell block on this one. Pretty cool features on this thing. They gave me a full rundown. Everybody's busy right now, but I'll share more with you guys once we get back to the house. Like I said, they're pretty busy doing demos and everything. So if you guys are in the area, Scappoose Bay, Oregon, make sure you stop by Next Adventure. If you want to try out a kayak, a paddleboard, or a canoe, I mean, they have a wide selection. I think they got like over 100 more down on the dock. So it's that time of year. Like I said, I mean, right now it's kind of overcast, but the sun is coming out. It's a great time to get outdoors. Make sure you come check out their selection and try out some cool products. By the way, we got something cool in. Yak Attack Black Pack Pro 13x16 just got off the truck, so I'll be able to get my hands on that. We got a video on that one coming up soon. I'll have both the original and that one to do a side-by-side comparison. Super excited to check that out. But let's get this thing in the truck and head on home. We got a lot of things to do, and in a little bit we'll talk more about this kayak and kind of my plans for it. See you soon. Finally back at home. We got the Hobie in the Bass Cave. Let's just go over this real quick, kind of the things that I had the guys do for it. I mentioned a couple of it when we were at the shop, but I kind of want to go into more details. since we're here and we got a little bit more time. Right up front, we got this big storage compartment that is waterproof. So we can throw, you know, the camera in there, a bunch of other stuff, just in case. You can take this out, and there's a whole bunch of space under there. I know it's a little dark, but you can see there are tubes going along the side for these rod tubes. So I'm pretty excited about something like that, just for the fact that I can carry extra rods that are not vertical. As you can see right here, I do got 2 rods sitting on these racks. You can make these horizontal or have them vertical. I haven't decided which one I like to use. We're just playing around at this point. 360 drive, super cool. Excited to try that out. It's gonna definitely be a little different than your typical pedal drive, just for the fact that this is not like a pedaling style where you do rotations. It's not fully in right now because it is low to the ground. We got this Hobie attachment for a 1-inch ram ball. I have a ram mount coming for my graph. I will not be using the cell block on this because I had the guys at Next Adventure rig up the transducer and the power wires for me. So the battery will probably be going in this center compartment. Let's see what else. Got the seat in the high position right now. There is a low setting. You do got steering on both sides for your rudder. Really cool. Let's see what we got. It has a bunch of things that are pretty fancy. So that's your skeg. If you pull this, it drops your skeg, and the skeg should be dropped right there. So as we come around the other side, you have this pull tab for your transducer, and it actually pulls the transducer inside of the hole if you're going to go in shallow water. And right here, tied around this H rail, is the rudder as well. So I think that's a pretty neat feature, that you can actually hide some of those key components underneath. So you can see the rudder right here. It's actually tucked underneath the hole. Back to this side, this is your steering for the 360. So you can make it rotate that full 360 degrees. I have another Hobie attachment for my boomstick, so I can run my GoPro on it whenever the weather decides to cooperate. I can actually run it. Over here we have the Hobie paddles that are 2-piece, and it has a little holder for that, so it's out of the way. And of course the Black Pack Pro from Yak Attack. So lucky that Next Adventure actually got those in the shop today, and I was able to get my hands on one. In the next video, you will see me unboxing that Black Pack Pro and putting it together, and kind of seeing what it's all about. Considering that I had a couple, you know, days out on the water with the old Black Pack Pro, I'm excited to see how much better this one is. So that's a quick run through of the Hobie PA12. Again, there's probably a lot of other things that I'm missing about it, a lot of stuff that's completely new to me. I wish I could do more to this Hobie, but again, it's not mine. And with that, it's time to get this thing ready, because in 2 weeks I'll be fishing my first official kayak tournament. Not the opener like I did a couple weeks ago, a first official kayak tournament. So we're gonna be running this for that. Super excited. It's gonna be on the Columbia River, a water that can get really nasty, and I'm excited to have a kayak that is super stable and will give me the confidence to be out there in any conditions possible. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you subscribe and smash that like button for some more content coming up here real soon. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.